Good morning and welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host here in Fort Scott, Kansas on the KW Cattle Ranch. The ranch has evolved into a 3,000 plus acre cattle and horse breeding operation where they even sell their beef on the retail market. Stay with us and we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Good morning and welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host, and I'm here with Nathan Wells in Fort Scott, Kansas at the KW Cattle Company. So first off, Nathan, horses and cattle have been a part of the Kraft family since the 50s. Tell me a little bit about that.
When Harold was growing up, they always had cattle and horses involved. They grew up on a farm, and they ended up moving to town, and it was a big passion of his to always get back into. So that's kind of how KW evolved later on in his life.
Great. So tell me a little bit how you became a part of the KW Cattle Company.
I moved to Fort Scott when I was in 6th grade, and I ended up coming up to help them with some horses, and one thing just kind of led to another. From there, whenever they first decided they kind of wanted to diversify some of their operation, we kind of started in the stocker business, and we did that for several years. And as time went along, we decided we wanted to do something that was more of a, I don't want to say challenge, maybe something that was more of a steady thing, something more we could build a name around and build something for my children's future and also their family. And so they started KW Cattle then in about 2009.
Awesome. So since you've been here, how have you seen, you kind of touched on that a minute ago, but how have you seen the operation evolve?
Well, we used to run several thousand stockers a year. And so it was just a different feel, constant turnover, constant different animals and challenges, to where now we are working on raising maybe more of the perfect animal, more of bulls for people to help to improve their herd with.
Awesome. So behind us here we have some of the stock. Tell me a little bit about the cattle in general here. What kind of breeding specifics and things like
we raise registered Black Angus bulls. Several different bloodlines. Everybody wants to know what trait we're trying to focus on, and in our minds we're trying to create more of a perfect animal that is complete. We want them to have carcass merit, we want them to have good calf and ease, we want them to have a lot of performance in them, and basically to help put more money on their bottom line.
So besides the genetics and breeding here at KW Cattle Company, tell me a little bit about the meat production here.
Platinum Beef was started several years ago. Originally we just had animals for ourselves, and we've always wanted to provide healthy things for our family. And so we decided to start Platinum Beef. It's no hormones, no antibiotics. We wanted to grow it here at the ranch. We never wanted to send it out for somebody else to do, so we could ensure the quality. And it kind of started with one person coming over for dinner and they liking it, and they bought some, so on and so forth. And so it's grown into something we're very proud to do. We do probably 30 to 60 animals a year that we send. People can buy it online, or we have just friends and family that buy it just for themselves because they like it. And the best thing about it is that our kids eat it. We noticed a difference whenever you would buy store-bought hamburger from the ranch and seeing the kids actually eat their hamburger instead of just eating the chips.
Right.
So it's been a very good thing for us.
Great, thank you, Nathan. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. A high-energy, drought-tolerant crop, sorghum only requires 6 inches of water to produce the first bushel. And with its wide uses and easy adaptation, sorghum proves to be a truly indispensable crop. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484. That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities, big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host, and I'm back here with Nathan in Fort Scott, Kansas. So today's kind of a preparation day for your sale coming up in March, and it's your second annual sale. Tell me a little bit about that.
The preparation we're doing today is we're fitting the bulls, trimming them, getting them ready for video. The online auction has kind of become a big part. I think last year it was 25% of our sales, and so we want that bull to look and show who he truly is. And so today we're going to get him clipped, and then next week we'll video him.
Great. So what made you guys want to start with an auction?
The biggest thing with an auction is because if I sell in private treaty, I've got to set the price. Whenever you hold an auction, it's more of a cost for us, but the market and the people there are going to dictate that value. So that way they can't say I'm too high on it. That's what the market was. And hopefully we're both in agreement that that bull brought what he was truly worth.
Great. So how do you develop the bulls that you sell in your auction?
We develop all the bulls here at home. That's a big question we get a lot. We don't send them ever to a feedlot. We always keep them here. Our bulls are developed in big traps. I think the smallest traps our bulls are developed in is about 20 acres. The 18-month-olds, they're developed in about a 50-acre trap. They are developed on fescue.
Okay.
And so we think by keeping them in them bigger traps, that's going to help that bull grow up better and ensure some joint soundness at a young age so that he'll be around for a long time for that customer.
Sure. What are some specifics that you do to get your bulls sale ready?
Besides doing the clipping, we'll also we ultrasound the bulls. We did that a few days ago, and that'll help the public kind of see. It's another tool for them to see what kind of carcass merit they're going to have. We'll also do the Zoetis 50K, which is a genetic test, and it helps to improve. It's just a piece of the EPDs to help them ensure that what that says it is going to be. So it helps to give our clients a bigger and better picture of what they're getting.
How many people are you expecting, and how many head of cattle will you run through your sale this year?
This year we're going to sell 150 bulls. That's our plan. And we're probably going to have between 100 and 150 people. Last year we had about 75 people show up, and we've had great feedback from the catalogs, people requesting catalogs. We've sent out some flyers and had a lot of feedback on them. And so roughly we expect around 150 people this year, and that's what we're kind of trying to prepare for.
Great. So I know you mentioned that the Kraft family has a print business. Do they are they involved in the auction at all?
They are involved in the auction. The printing business will print a lot of the flyers. It'll also print a lot of the banners that we use, and that's been a growing thing. The magnets that we sent out to everybody as kind of a reminder and save the date. We printed those at Wardcraft as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host, and I'm back here with Nathan Wells in their ET barn. To start off, how are you using technology to grow KW cattle?
Probably the biggest way we've taken advantage of it is using IVF, which stands for in vitro fertilization. That's a process that they'll actually go in and extract the egg, and then they'll put it in a petri dish, and they grow them out and fertilize them. And over here is some of our eggs that we've actually frozen. That's kind of what they are. You can see they're labeled. You can kind of see the canes inside there. It's been a way for us to use cattle that perhaps aren't 60 days postpartum yet, so we're able to flush them faster. You don't have to give that cow any drugs, and it's also a lot less manpower to whenever you do that. So that's one of the biggest ways we're using it, and we're also still using some conventional ways, but we're really excited about what this new technology is showing us.
Perfect. How do you decide what flushing method to use and on which cows?
Most of it just depends upon what Casey, which is one of our embryologists, and Todd, kind of what they tell us, but also off the cow's age. A lot of times if you'll use conventional flushing on a young cow, you can burn them up or cause some damage sometimes to their ovaries. That's one of the beautiful things about IVF is that you're not, you don't have to give no drugs. And so it's more of a natural thing. You can take those eggs out, and you can even breed that cow and use IVF technology on her up to 110 days, I think, or 120 days bred. And so you never get a stale cow. And it also helps to keep a cow from getting super fat from just constantly being a donor cow.
Perfect. So you mentioned you do some of this work here on your farm. Tell me a little bit about that.
We try to spread it out. We've sent cows to Texas, to Todd Strata. We've also got cows in Abilene with Casey Barton, and then we keep a lot of them here. One of the biggest reasons we do that is just to spread our risk out. The other reason is we try to keep, especially our young cows, right here at home, where we can watch over them close. Riley has learned how to go in and scan the cattle, which helps us do a better job on doing the IVF and the embryo technology of finding what process those cows are at in their cycle and how we can set them up and utilize getting the most eggs possible.
Perfect. And how do you utilize your lab that you've built here?
The lab that we have there, that's where they'll actually go and they'll do the sorting. So after we flush out of the chute here with Casey, we'll then take that vial into the lab. And whoever the lab tech is that day will go through and they'll sort through, find the embryos, and they'll either put them in the incubator and we'll send them to Todd if they're on the IVF side, or if it's a conventional embryo way, then he'll actually freeze them in there. And so that's kind of where all the magic happens.
Okay, great, thank you. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Healthy cows start with the new Hired Hand automatic livestock sprayer. Rancher invented to provide an efficient alternative to pour-on and injectable parasite management systems. The portable design allows cattle to treat themselves head to hoof. Strategic device placement with pass-through activation technology takes the stress out of parasite treatment for cattle and the rancher, leaving more time to tend to other vital tasks on the farm. To learn more, visit cowsprayer.com. The new Hired Hand makes healthy cows easy.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas corn, with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host here at the KW Cattle Ranch. And we've been talking a lot about cattle, and we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about some horses. And I'm here with Riley Schofield, a hired hand here at the ranch. So tell me a little bit about what you do here, Riley.
I've worked here for about the last 5 years, kind of doing a little bit of everything. Recently I just started doing a lot of the ultrasounding and scanning on the donors that we use, and do a little bit of AI too, along with Jeff and Nathan. But mainly I start a lot of the horses, ride a lot of horses, which is really awesome. I enjoy it.
Great. Tell me a little bit about the horse operation here. How many head do you guys have, and how does that work?
We've got probably more horses than we should, but we've got about 20 head, which isn't terrible, but we use them a lot. We've got 2 brood mares right now, and then we'll kind of buy some colts here and there, but we like to raise them. The ultimate goal is kid broke horses that Nathan's girls and Jeff's kids can eventually ride and you know, do everything on, and they're broke enough for it, but yet we can go either take them to a show or gather on and then stick a kid on them and they're fine.
So tell me a little bit about, you start most of the horses here, but maybe what are some up-and-coming horses that you have that you're sending off?
Yeah, we've got a pretty cool little filly out of a Patty's Irish Whiskey mare, and she's out of WR This Cat Smart. So we're not too great at the cutting here, so we're going to probably send her off to a cutting trainer and see how she gets along.
So horses have been a part of the KW Cattle Ranch as long as cattle have been a part. How do the two go together?
Well, we like to gather everything with horses and use horses. We obviously rope a lot of stuff with it, just doctoring, and I think a lot of it comes from when we had the stalkers. We used to ride all the time, and so we like to continue that into the registered operation, and so we sure enjoy the horse side of it, so we like to keep them together. So.
What kind of horses do you have here on the ranch, and beyond ranch work, what are some things that you like to do with them?
We like to do, well, we raise quarter horses, American quarter horses. That's mainly what we have. We've got a few paints in there, but don't tell Nathan that. We actually do a lot of, here lately we're starting to get into like working cow horse type stuff. Nathan and Jeff both were on a ranch rodeo team, did really well. They made it to the finals a couple years, and with the kids, they don't do it as much, but we use them for kind of all aspects of ranch work, and then we like them to be able to perform that ability in the arena as well. So,
So I see you have a roping chute and a roping dummy over there. Do you guys do some team roping as well?
We do, yep. We like to start some of those horses on it. We've got a handful of roping steers that we like to run through occasionally, and it's good for the horses to be able to get a little more practice in than just when you have to rope them in the pasture.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Riley. We've been talking with Riley Schofield about the horse operation here at the KW Cattle Company, and stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Person who's involved in ag production and cattle ranching, Bill Rischel here in North Platte, told me about Kansas Regenerative Medicine. And after talking to Dr. Pope, we did a lot of reading and researching, looking on the internet about it. I guess the thing that impressed me is that he told me, he said, if we don't think it's going to help you, we're not going to do it. I thought that was a very good approach. I'm a former athlete, played college basketball, played overseas after college, had some severe trauma on the right ankle, right knee, joint in my hand also. This brace is what I had to wear all the time. Now I don't wear this during the day. That's a real improvement for me. My knee doesn't bother me. This joint came around quick. was the first thing I noticed improving. You can see in the background here there's different fish and game that I hunt. Ability to walk was impacting my outdoor endeavors. I think it's really valuable, and encourage anybody that's interested to go down and at least do a consultation with them.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source, together we grow.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host, and I'm here with Nathan Wells, the KW Cattle Company near Fort Scott, Kansas. So first off, Nathan, when you first started here, how have you seen this property change over time?
You know, when we started here, all of this right here, nothing was here. It was just a plain piece of dirt. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of building it, helping design it, how we thought it would work and flow. In multiple different aspects of the cattle industry, and also for the horses that we're proud of. So we've seen a lot of changes. I think we'll continue to see a lot of changes and growth in the future.
When was like the main turning point? I think you mentioned in 2009, kind of all this stuff was built.
In 2009, we had just outgrown where we were at, and we decided to move up here, which was just a quarter mile up the road. It allowed us a lot more area. And so that was when we moved up here and developed all this, all the pens and everything. And it was probably it was a big jump for us, but it also helped us have the opportunity to grow. We were so limited before.
So just in those few short years from 2009 until now, a lot has changed. Where do you see KW Cattle in the future?
I think KW Cattle is going to become, hopefully be a leader in the industry in terms of helping to place bulls, develop bulls, and also to help bulls to continue to help put more money on the customer's bottom line.
Sure. Where do you see yourself and your family? You mentioned you have kids and a wife. Where do you see yourself and them in the future here?
I think we'll always be involved in it. You know, it's important to me and my wife both that our kids both go to college. And if they choose to come back and be a part of ranch, we would welcome that. But we want that to be their decision. I don't ever want to be one of them dads that forced it on them, because I want them to have the same passion that we all have for it, and to love it for the right reasons, because it is a challenging life.
Maybe in the future, would they be interested in coming back and growing the retail side of KW Cattle?
I hope so. I hope so. I hope that that's one of, me and my wife both have a goal to try and make KW very diverse in a lot of different segments, from the horses to the bulls to the heifer development, to even continuing to prove the bulls in the feed yard, and the platinum beef side of it. I hope that is something that they want to come back and be a part of, and I hope they each take their own division and continue to make it prosper.
Elaborate a little bit more on the production side of things here, your beef that you sell. Where do you see that in the future?
It has been something that we've been surprised how fast it's grown, the interest that we've had, and the questions that we have. You know, a lot of people even want to come to the ranch and actually pick out their own beef. There's so much market and propaganda out there today of people who are selling false things. And we love the opportunity of having people come here and say, I want that one, and that's theirs. And seeing that we do grow it and take care of it in the way we say we do.
We've been visiting with Nathan Wells here at the KW Cattle Ranch. Thank you, Nathan, for visiting with me. And stay tuned next week for the next episode of That's My Farm.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.